Welcome to my world, bitch.
Welcome to the 168th episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast.
So economically paranormal.
My name is Jason Knight, host of the show, and with me, as always, is...
Oscar Spector.
Producer extraordinaire and podcast co-host. How is it economically paranormal?
Because it's
fall
they're
out?
bite-sized, they save you time, which saves you money.
We're bite-sized, and we save people time and money.
Yeah.
Donate to the show.
Donate to the show.
Buy our
we have a
merch.
donate button? Oh, yeah, that's how you...
We do have a donate button on the website. In almost, 10 years, no one's ever pressed it. 8 years, 9 years, whatever.
Not surprised.
In 168, well, it's got to be closer to, I don't know, 180.
You ever heard the...
90.
You ever
No
heard
one's
that,
ever pressed it.
You ever heard of that backhanded compliment people say about certain celebrities? You have a face for radio.
Yes.
You ever heard that?
Yes.
We don't even have that.
No? That's pretty sad.
You know?
That's what age does to you.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's up, man? What's been going on?
What's up is the ceiling and then the sky. But what's going on? Well, lately, it's funny because I was gonna have you start it up, but I guess I will start it up.
I tossed you the ball.
No big deal. I had an interesting couple of scenes. They're not scenes. Times that I had recently. I went to, I've been going. I mentioned on the show before. I've been going to raves in the city in Chicago, where I live, and I went to one 2 weeks ago. Maybe no, whenever the Pride Parade was in Chicago. Well,
The Pride, yeah.
Whenever that was.
I don't know the date, but... Yeah.
It was like the day after, I think. Or it had to be the day after, because I know that's in the morning and I went at night, so I know I missed it. But they were tearing down still all the sets.
From the Pride Parade?
Yes,
Okay.
in Boys Town on Halsted Street.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it Avenue Street?
Halsted Street.
Yeah, thank you. And that's where the rave was, and it was so hot.
Wait, there was a rave where on Halsted? In Boys
It was
Town?
yes, in Boys Town. It was called
Where
Dos.
would they hold it in
It was called
Boys
Dos Tequilas. That was the name of the location.
I actually think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a half a block from Hydrate, I think. One of the big...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know that one.
Yeah, that used to be the manhole, actually.
Yeah, I do know
That's
that.
not a joke. That
Yeah,
used to
no,
be
I
the
know.
manhole.
Yeah. I used to go to Berlin in the old days, pre-COVID. Then they're shut down now.
I remember. I remember.
Yeah,
that
they're shut
part.
down. I don't know what it is now, though. Anyway, I was there. It was so hot, Jay.
I'm getting the creeps right now. Just
It was like levels of hot. Like, near the door was the coolest. Like, in the actual dance floor, it was so hot. It was so hot.
how sweaty were people that you were rubbing up against?
Extremely. A sheen. A sheen.
No, oh, dude,
You know, like that.
I don't like that.
I mean,
at
we're all
all.
basically naked there, but still not enough.
Bro,
You know?
not enough. You wanted more nudity?
I guess so, because
Oh
it was
my God.
so hot in there. Anyway, and when I went with a friend who I've been kind of like she wants to go to all these raves with me now. Like, this is her second one with me. We went to a different location last time, and she's going for the next two, I think. We got tickets for them all, and yeah, I've been on one hand, it's been interesting convincing somebody who is like in her late 30s to kind of go back out, like what she used to do in her 20s.
Are you guys a thing? Is this a?
No. She
You're
has
just friends?
she has
Oh.
a partner.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just like friends,
Got it.
like friends,
Okay.
and we just dance. That's it. We just dance until our legs hurt, basically, our feet hurt.
Were you on drogas?
No, not yet. No,
Not yet.
I imagine there's an opportunity that may arise that I will say yes to.
Oh my God.
But until that day, I'm not fishing for it. You know, I'm not
Got it.
going for it necessarily. I'm not seeking it out. If it happens, it happens.
You're not popping a bunch of ecstasy.
I definitely met some
Molly?
interesting people. I met a few transplants, quite a few transplants.
Really? Where'd they
Yeah.
come from?
I think one is North Carolina. One is somewhere in the East Coast. I don't remember where. I know that North Carolina is also East Coast, but I don't know where. We were talking to them for a while, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got here last year." I'm like, "Oh man, how's it been?" Like, "It's crazy here." Like, "Yeah, thank you."
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's nuts here. Everything's so expensive." Like, "Yeah, I know." So anyway, my point is that I was there for post Pride fun, I guess, and the outside was just as busy and packed with people as the inside was.
Damn.
That's how crazy that evening was. Some people walking around either lost or going somewhere. At some point, we had to look for a bathroom. We had to convince this lady at a vape store, "Hey, can we use your bathroom in the back?" And I was like, "We'll buy something." And "Yeah, fine." So she let us use
Surprised they
it.
let you.
Yeah, that was very surprising. Usually they don't never let us do that. So that was like the recent fun I've been having that I wanted to just bring out and say.
I think it's interesting. I've never been to a rave. In all my life, I've never been to a rave. Concerts and mosh pits and stuff, but raves, never been.
I mean, you're like 1 degree away from it. It's not that dissimilar.
Really?
Yeah, except that it's not live. I mean, the DJ's there, I guess, so that's the live aspect of it, right? But the beats are obviously different. You move to the beat only. Basically, you don't have to, but that's what I do.
Glow sticks? Were you fucking with glow sticks?
No, they do have themes. They had themes. So this one we went to, have you seen the movie Saltburn?
I haven't yet.
So
I heard it's pretty off the chain.
The theme was Saltburn.
Okay.
And it was called Slutburn, of course.
Jesus.
So everyone's dressed as the characters from that movie. For the most part, a lot of antlers, a lot of wings. Some people had like a cross. I don't know what it was. I've seen the movie once. I don't remember it that well. And it's a crazy movie. I remember that. I remember him humping a grave. I'll tell you that.
What the fuck?
You gotta watch that movie.
I heard it's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild, yeah. So that was the theme. It was a lot of fun. I see a lot of regulars there because it's like my 4th or 5th now. So I'm starting to see like some of the regulars that are always there. And we actually talked to one of them. One of them approached me. This beautiful young girl approached me, like, "Oh my God, are you going to the next one, the ecstasy rave?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'll see you there," and stuff. So like, we're going to have fun probably.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fun. Getting out there, meeting people, sweating on each other, catching ringworm. Fucking awesome.
I don't know what that is. We don't catch anything.
Okay.
I haven't caught anything.
Yet.
Right. Yet. I don't predict the future, Jay. That's not what we do here.
We don't do that here.
We did a show on Nostradamus, but we are not, we're not him.
No.
No, we're not. No. So I want to ask you, this episode drops on the 1st of July, which means that Independence Day is right around that corner.
4th of
Do you have
July.
any plans for the 4th?
You know what? Usually we go all out. We have a real good time.
You usually do. It's almost like in stone.
Right. Etched in stone. You guys come here.
It's
party,
that and
drink.
Halloween with you. So the top two, you can reliably anticipate a gathering with you.
Yes. And we always have a good time. Mm-hmm. Big barbecue, lots of fireworks, lots of drinking, swimming, things like this. This time, it's very, very low key because the very next day on the 5th, we're headed to Florida for 2 weeks.
Right.
And if people have been listening to the show for a little while, they know I fucking hate to fly. So I'm driving. Yeah. So I got to get up real early in the morning and drive for 13 hours to the other side of Atlanta. And then we'll finish up the next day.
And when he says he's driving, folks, he means all the driving is done by him. Yeah. He does not trust anyone else to drive.
Nope. I think I would let my daughter drive now. I would.
Really?
Before my wife, yeah.
Is it because you trained her like a Jedi?
Absolutely.
Like a Jedi trusts his apprentice, but no one else?
My Padawan, yeah.
Padawan?
Man. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
I would let her drive, I think, before my wife. But don't tell Katie I said that.
I'll tell her to listen to the show.
She'll be
this week,
mad.
this month. I'll tell her to listen to it.
Yeah, but we're super excited. It's been a really rough year, and we need a break. So we're doing 3 nights in New Smyrna. I have a oceanfront hotel. I mean, balcony looks, boom, right there's the ocean. Mm-hmm. We love New Smyrna. It's just this nice, quiet beach town. And so we're going to start there. Then we're going to Central Florida. We'll wind up doing Daytona. I'm going to try to get to St. Augustine. So it's going to be
Is Daytona famous for the races? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Daytona Speedway.
Are you going to watch F1? Just came out.
No, I'm not interested.
I am. I can't wait to see it.
No, that's awesome.
I'm not like massively interested, but I want to see it. Yes.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
So yeah, this year 4th of July is low key. We'll do a little bit of fireworks. We'll have just a daytime barbecue. I want to be in bed and out by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you're a big Florida lover.
Yeah. That we were supposed to move there, and I think that's ultimately still the goal eventually.
Yeah.
So we do try to get there as often as possible.
I hear you.
So we're going to be doing that. I do have a couple other things. So there's this show on Netflix, and it's called The King of Collectibles. The Golden Touch.
Okay.
And it's about this very famous auction house. It's a riveting, docuseries, I guess you would say, on Netflix. And I forgot to tell you this. I co-signed something to them, to this auction house. Okay, so, man, I don't know, 20-something years ago, I'm really aging myself here, dating myself here, but maybe even a little bit longer. I was a huge White Zombie fan. Okay, Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Before he went out into his own, he was White Zombie, right?
Yeah.
Loved White Zombie. I still love White Zombie. All that classic, like, early 90s shit, right? And so I was hanging out with a guy. His name was Art Scott. He was in a band out in L.A., and he and Early White Zombie, his band and Early White Zombie, used to tour the L.A. circuit together all the time. They were really good friends. So, flash forward however many years, my friend Art, he had this cassette tape, but it's not a VHS tape. It's something called an AUD 30, AUD 30. And it's much larger than like a VHS tape. And it was the music video for Black Sunshine, which is one of White Zombie's most famous songs ever.
I know it myself.
It's like Thunder Kiss 65 and Black Sunshine. It's right. So this AUD 30 tape is what Geffen Records, that's who they were with at the time. Maybe they stayed with Geffen the whole time. I don't know. But at that time, when they cut this song, they were with Geffen Records. So that tape is what Geffen Records would send out to like MTV, VH1, I guess radio stations and things to get plays and get them interested in the band and things like this. So it's like early White Zombie memorabilia, right?
Right.
And this thing has been sitting in a container at one of my cousin's house forever. Forgot I even had the damn thing. She wound up moving. We had to go to her house and clean stuff up, take things out, finally bring a lot of stuff that I had there from years and years and years ago to my home now. So I'm looking through these containers. I'm like, holy shit, I forgot all about it. I had this tape. And I'm thinking, like, man, I wonder if this is worth anything. So I contacted something just on a whim. I took pictures of it, and I contacted this Golden Auction House, and they said, yeah, we're interested. We'll take it on consignment. So I sent it in.
And what does that mean, on consignment?
Meaning they'll auction it for you.
Okay. On your behalf, like on your name?
They do all the marketing. They post it. They sell it, the whole thing. And one of the things they're doing is they're like grading it, authenticating it. And that's what it's going through right now, this authentication and grading process. I don't know what's on that tape. It could be fucking blank for all I know. It certainly doesn't look. I mean, it's a legit piece from Geffen Records. But I've never seen it because it's such an odd format. I never had any equipment to play it.
Of course not. So, who does? Yeah, very few people.
There's part of me that's worried, like, oh my God, what if it is blank, or what if it got magnetized and erased? I have no idea what's on this tape. So it could take the guy said it could take a little bit, maybe a month or so to get it graded and authenticated. But once it's done, and if it's in good quality, they're going to put it up for auction. That might be worth a ton of money.
Are they going to put it on this show that you were talking about on Netflix?
Oh, I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it. I mean, they have auctions every single fucking
But it's the same people, is what you're saying, that has a show
that has
or authenticating your tape.
Yeah,
interesting.
And they're going to put it up for auction for me. And these people do $1 million baseball cards, $1 million Pokemon cards. I mean, any sports collectible you could imagine.
Dude, can I tell you, one of my biggest life regrets is not understanding as a kid what a collectible was.
Yeah.
You know how many Pokemon cards I had?
Collectible. Oh, so I was thought you were going to say Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, specifically to Pokemon, but also Yu-Gi-Oh!, also Magic the Gathering. Not that I ever played Magic the Gathering, but one time I had cousins that was really into it. They left a few decks behind, and they haven't talked to me about it ever since because we moved on, and I have them still. Anyway, point is I've had a lot of collectibles that I could have.
Oh, bro, we all have.
It's insane how much I threw them away and I treated them like shit.
I know.
I had a golden Charizard. I had a first edition Dragonite on Hollow. I had like all this stuff I don't have anymore. I had a Mew, one of those, the most expensive Mew. I had it. I also had the Island Mew from the movies. Like, I had all these cards that I see now as a praise, on random sites and times. That I don't like seek them out. I just like find them here and there. They'll be like, oh, the most expensive one. The video will be, what's your most expensive card? And they'll bring up a card that I used to have. I'm like, fuck.
That makes you sick, doesn't it?
That makes me sick.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes me sick. I have a few things that I still have that I'm hoping. I haven't checked them or anything. Like I have a ton of VHS. Not that matters as much because I know that those were made.
No, dude, physical media is coming back.
But physical media is you'd be surprised how much that. Maybe we'll see. I have very little hope of that, but we'll see. But I have a lot of that still. I have like over 200, and I have an actual old Bolex camera from the 40s, I want to say.
Wow.
The cranks, a camera that cranks
Yeah.
and shoots about 12 seconds at a time. Yeah,
That's
no
crazy.
film or anything, but yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
So I have those as little backups for whatever my actual things I saved. But otherwise, the Lego I have, and that's it,
Right. Yeah.
which I'm not selling.
So everyone pray, for me that thing was worth a lot of money and I might have a little fortune sitting right there. So I contacted them again today with another piece that I have that I'm interested in putting up for auction. Mm-hmm. And it's a Bruce Willis signature, okay? Mm-hmm. So in 2002, Bruce Willis, he had a band back in the day.
You told me this story. Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you this?
Yeah. I don't know if you did it on the show, though.
I don't think so. So he used to have a band back in the day. And when he did music stuff, he went by the name Bruno Randolini.
Okay.
That's what he would call himself for his music shit. Bruno Randolini. But it was Bruce Willis. So in 2002, my wife, was my girlfriend at the time,
my wife,
worked at a very famous bar in Wrigleyville.
Wrigleyville, yeah.
The Cubby Bear, right? Right across from Cubs Park. So one night she was working and Bruce Willis came in with his band. And I can't remember the name of the band itself, but she wound up being his merch girl, his merchandise girl for the night. And before he left, he signed this hat that says Club Bruno. And Bruno, again, has to do with Bruno Randolini, right? Like his name that he would go by is Club Bruno. And then he signed it, Bruce Willis, 2002.
That's cool.
And it's been sitting in my closet ever since 2002.
Yeah.
Dusty and shit. I'm like, oh my God, I have this thing. And
you should wrap it in something.
From what I understand, he didn't do like tons of signatures.
Yeah.
And especially now, unfortunately, health things, people are looking for that. So I contacted
I think Sweet Spot is still upcoming for that, but yeah, you're close to it. Yeah. The Sweet Spot to sell it, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to think that way, but people are interested again in his autograph and his memorabilia. So I contacted them. We'll see what they say. Haven't heard back yet, so I might consign something else to this golden auction house. Who knows?
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was kind of interesting.
That's hella interesting.
And then last thing, I don't know, this is really exciting for me. I got Violent Femmes tickets to see them in Milwaukee, where they started. They're going to be playing their first 2 albums in entirety in October, and I got tickets for me and my wife. Super excited. Love the Violent Femmes.
I know them very little.
Really?
Yeah, it's like here and there.
It's one of my favorite bands.
But I know you know them. So.
That's all I got.
Right on.
We should really probably switch gears here.
Yeah.
Tonight is I
think it's a fun show. It's gonna be fun.
No, not fun at all.
I think it's super fun.
It's the
people love murder.
It's bad. So we've done some fucked up shit in this show. Junko Furuta was pretty bad. Adrenochrome and all of its conspiracy craziness. There was some pretty sick themes in there. I don't know if they're true or not. Of course, Junko is true. John Gacy, of course, that was pretty bad. I think this one tops all of those. And I fucking hate that I have to do this episode because it's not really an episode. It's more of a PSA.
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
This is,
You had my interest, now you have my intrigue. I'm like, there's a way that's saying it's better than that, but I forget what it was.
Yeah. Researching this, doing this, when I heard about it I heard there was an FBI release on this, and it caught my attention immediately because I'm a parent, right? And this really makes me lose all fucking hope in humanity. This thing right here.
Okay.
That's how bad this shit is.
Well, luckily for me, I already lost the hope, so I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, so I'm just going to issue a warning here. There's some really, really sensitive topics in this one.
Okay, with that, folks, we're going to take a little break and stay tuned to listen to what we have. Again, PSA.
PSA. Welcome back to the show, listeners. Well, the lights are turned down low, the ceremonial candle is lit, and the drinks are flowing. Let's start this show. So like I said, I am issuing a warning on this one. Sensitive topics.
Viewer discretion advised.
Viewer discretion certainly advised.
Or listener discretion, I guess. Not viewing anything.
Listener discretion, viewer discretion advised. Yeah, there's a lot of links for self-help in the show notes. Please check those out. Yeah.
Have we ever done that before?
We have. There was a couple episodes where we put
Really? I don't remember that.
different prevention hotlines and things. Yeah, I don't remember the exact show off the top of my head, but it's happened a few.
Okay.
Aokigahara, when we did the Aokigahara Forest episode.
That makes sense.
We
You're
put
right.
the
That's
suicide
that's
forest.
track.
I don't even know if this fucking, now that I said these, like suicide, for example, I don't even know if this is going to be able to air on like our YouTube channel or anything like that because of censors. Because there's a lot of, this is all nothing but banned topics. So
I don't understand how a topic can be banned.
you'd be surprised.
Like, to some extent, some extreme, Western extents. Like, for example, we start talking about the positives of Hitler's reign. That's not good. I get that being banned.
I don't even think that would be banned.
Right. That's
stuff like this.
But this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what we're talking about. So I'm really curious.
Yeah.
As to why, what makes you think that we won't be able to play on some platforms?
Oh, right. Because we were kind of talking off during the break there. Yeah. So again, warning.
Okay.
Let me repeat that. A lot of help in the show notes. Clickable links. If you're struggling, if you're hurting, you are loved. You do matter. Talk to somebody, and we put clickable links.
Yeah, and my phone number's on the show notes too. If you need to talk,
I'll put my phone on there. I'll talk to any of our listeners.
Yeah.
So and then again, PSA. This is more of a PSA episode. People need to be aware what the fuck is going on because it's not being covered very much. Not a lot of people are talking about it. You don't really see it in mainstream media, but it's happening, and it's happening to our kids. This one hit home especially hard because I'm a father, obviously. So I felt this has to... I had another topic already planned out, but this took precedence because people need to be aware. Parents, teachers, authorities need to be fucking aware of this and watching for signs.
Okay.
Drinking. What are you drinking? I'm gonna... I need to drink before this one.
I drink whatever you give me, Jay.
All right, this is a... I'm just prolonging. I'm procrastinating is what it is, because I don't really want to talk about this. This is Kentucky Owl. It's a St. Patrick's edition, 100 proof. This is a collab series. Collab. Gotta shorten. Everyone shortens things. Collab. It's a collaboration, a limited release from Louis McGuane, who's an Irish whiskey, kind of known in the Irish whiskey world. And then
His first name is Luis?
Louis, yeah. Louis, Louise. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but it's Louis McGuane.
That's
and
Lois.
It says Lois?
Is that?
Lois is Lois.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And this is, the title is Irish Whiskey Bonder. So Louis is popular in the Irish whiskey world. And John Rhea, master distiller, now for Kentucky Owl, I think he was the COO of
the Kentucky Owls.
God bless it, of...
All of those owls. The owl from the Tootsie Roll commercial, right? The Tootsie Pop. How many legs does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? That owl, he's the COO of that owl. Like, he represents that owl, right? That's what you're trying to say?
Right. Exactly.
Is it Hedwig? Is it that owl too? Famous
That's
owls?
what it was. Four Roses. He was the COO of Four Roses.
I just want to kill time for you to get that.
Thank you very much. Now he's with Kentucky Owl. So again, it's this collab between Irish whiskey and American whiskey, and it was put out for St. Patrick, and it's not bad. It isn't bad.
After all that, it's not bad.
That was rough. Oscar.
Ma'am.
They don't march in the streets or hide in the shadows. They build their empire in plain sight, click by click, share by share, across chat rooms and social media feeds. They call themselves 764, but they stand for nothing. Or rather, they worship the void itself.
Like a nihilist?
Actually, yes. The U.S. authorities call it nihilistic violent extremism.
Oh, shit.
But we're not there yet. So, to 764, hope, weakness. Order, a lie. Innocence, the ultimate weapon. In the darkest corners of the internet, the 764 network thrives. A decentralized swarm of extremists united by a single goal: to burn society to the ground and dance in its ashes. As I said, U.S. authorities call this movement nihilistic violent extremism. But to its members, it's a sacred mission. They don't just embrace chaos, they engineer it, one atrocity at a time. And their most grotesque tactic is targeting the very soul of our civilization, our children. 764 believes that the only way out is through collapse, through horror, through the destruction of all moral boundaries. Because when nothing is left, they claim, everything becomes possible.
Okay.
So this is the story of a movement without mercy, a digital contagion more dangerous than any man or bomb. It's the story of 764.
They sound like accelerationists.
Explain that. I haven't heard the term.
In political terms, may not be an official term. I heard it around. And the only reason I know it half as well as I'm about to say is because I'm a little like that. Like I can see the value of that a little bit. Not saying I'm this people.
The value of?
Being an accelerationist. Where an accelerationist, basically in political terms, means that things are so fucked up that we should try to get there faster so we can reborn faster.
I see.
So we can get, kind of what you were saying, get through it. Politically means that tear down all these horrible institutions that have gotten us here to all the problems we have, capitalism in nature or not, and get through it fast, like the downhill of it, because we're in the downhill. We want to get down faster so we can get up faster.
I see.
That's a nutshell.
Understood.
There's more to it, but that's a nutshell.
Okay. Then in a sense, I would say probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of similarities there. Now, the 764 Network is a global online extremist group that the U.S. authorities classify, again, as nihilistic violent extremism. Prosecutors say its members weaponize child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, and extreme violence to advance an accelerationist agenda. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah. Or the belief that society must be pushed to collapse to enable radical change. It's the belief that the way out is the way through, meaning the only way to achieve a desired future is to push the existing system to its breaking point, thereby creating an opportunity for something new to emerge. And how do you destroy the current system? By completely debasing and morally annihilating the very thing entrusted to protect it, our youth. 764's explicit goal is to destroy civilized society by spreading fear and sowing degradation. According to the DOJ, Department of Justice, 764 exploits vulnerable individuals, often children, to produce horrific abuse material. FBI agents report that members of 764 compete with each other in brutality. The more gore, the more violence, that raises their status among members, treating sadism as a badge of honor. Inside the network, the abuse content itself becomes a currency. Prosecutors describe 764 members compiling graphic images and videos into encrypted, what's called lore books, that are then traded and displayed to recruit newcomers or to boost one's status in the group. In multiple indictments, leaders in 764 taught grooming tactics and set strict content quotas for new recruits. They forced minors to commit horrific acts on video and then circulated that footage among followers. We're talking children being forced into self-mutilation, assaults, animal cruelty, even murder. One DOJ complaint warned that 764's followers systematically shame and train victims so thoroughly that some victims actually become subjects who then attack others under orders, creating this vicious cycle of inhumanity. Kind of like Stockholm Syndrome on a global scale, and streamed right into your homes, into your kids' bedrooms. The 764 network's predators deliberately seek out vulnerable children, exploiting their emotional distress and establish false friendships. Through calculated love bombing and grooming tactics, they manipulate these susceptible minors into believing they've found genuine connection and kinship. Then the trap springs. If you trust me, prove it. A demand for nudes. If we're really friends, you'll do this for me. A coerced act on camera, something wildly out of character. And just like that, the victim is ensnared. Once control is established, the demands escalate rapidly. Sexually explicit material, graphic self-harm videos, even forced acts of animal cruelty, all captured on camera. And any resistance is met with ruthless blackmail. Threats to leak the content publicly, kidnap the victim, or harm their family members. And the sole purpose? To extract increasingly extreme material through relentless psychological terror against children. In true scumbag edgelord fashion, and that's exactly what these pieces of shit are, fucking 4chan edgelords that trying to level up, the 764 network glorifies past mass casualty attacks like Columbine and blends in other extremist ideologies, oftentimes with hard white supremacist leanings and even satanic leanings. Per federal complaints, victims, some as young as 10 years old, have been forced to carve swastikas, satanic symbols, and the group's aliases into their own skin. Participants in the 764 network have even left the digital world and slithered their way into the real world, having been accused of everything from robberies, in-person sexual abuse of minors, kidnapping, weapons violations, swatting, and murder. Between 2023 and 2024, 2 individuals who are part of the 764 network hired hitmen to firebomb and shoot at their young victims' homes in Pennsylvania. Now, the FBI sounded the alarm on the sinister 764 network in September 2023, exposing its mission, the hunting and exploiting of minors with suicidal thoughts. But that was only the beginning. By December 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice unmasked one of its key players, Baron Martin, a 20-year-old from Tucson, Arizona, arrested for producing child sexual abuse material and cyberstalking. Martin admitted to running extortion schemes within 764, even forcing 2 13-year-old girls to carve symbols into their own skin. And the DOJ didn't mix words. They branded his crimes horrific and labeling 764 a dangerous network of violent extremists, hell-bent on tearing society apart. Now, the case took an even darker turn in January 2025 when 19-year-old Cameron Finnegan, from Sussex, UK, pleaded guilty to terrorism charges. A member of 764 since late 2023, Finnegan weaponized its ideology to manipulate a teenage girl into attempting suicide, an act that was live-streamed for the depraved gratification of his network. His sentence? 6 years for trying to get an underage girl to kill herself on camera. Then in March 2025, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center issued another urgent warning. 764's grip was tightening. The network was now systematically targeting children on platforms like Roblox, Discord, Instagram, and even SoundCloud, proving its reach was growing, evolving, and more dangerous than ever. I mean, my kid plays Roblox. You know, my daughter has an Instagram.
My nephew also plays Roblox.
See? Then in April 2025, U.S. and international authorities announced a major indictment. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed the arrests of 2 alleged 764 ringleaders, Parsan Nepal, a 20-year-old male from North Carolina, known within 764 as Trippy, and Leonidas Virigianis, a 21-year-old U.S. citizen living in Greece, known as War within 764. War, go fuck yourself. The DOJ charged them with leading an international child exploitation enterprise in the 764 network. The indictment alleged that they ran 764's Inferno subgroup. They forced victims to self-harm, including cutting signs and symbols into their skin, and they amassed child sexual abuse materials to use as currency for status within 764. These two pieces of shit threatened and forced their victims to engage in self-mutilation, to engage in online and in-person sexual acts. They were forced to harm animals, sexually abuse their own siblings, attempt suicide, and even commit murder. Children. Of course, everything was either photographed or taped and then shared. Now, if convicted, these two assholes are looking at life. In my opinion, death penalty for anyone involved in producing this shit. No question.
They all seem pretty young, all these members.
Yeah. Wait till you hear who created this.
I mean, it's that name War. I mean, it's very young.
Young,
no
juvenile,
creativity.
stupid. You go fuck yourself.
Bullshit. Yeah,
I'll whip your fucking ass.
it's like Sky Shadow or something. Sorry. I also
I'm telling you, these are like fucking 4chan moderator jagoffs.
Yeah.
Who are trying to level up. And
it's like, well, that's the thing is that I remember in the heyday of 4chan, 8chan, and we talked about those stories about like tangentially, not like specifically about 4chan, but we talked about people who, part of their descriptors before they murdered, and we talk about their murders.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they used to go on 4chan or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, what's worse than this? Like, what is actually like, because people keep coming with creative ways to get worse.
Right.
I mean, seemingly like, what is the next boss level of this, right? And this sounds like it's it.
I agree.
I never really. I mean, makes sense that it would be online the way it is, and makes sense that they want to capture it. The blackmail makes sense. Like all that, I probably could have predicted, but to this extent, not really. That's crazy.
Who would have thought?
Not me, obviously, but there are people whose job is to think about this to hopefully stop them. So that's good. There are people thinking about it. But damn. It also reminds me of that movie Compliance. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Where, assume it was McDonald's, right?
It was like a McDonald's type,
yeah.
Or Wendy's.
And they...
This guy impersonates a police officer.
Over the phone.
Over the phone. He never meets them.
What a movie.
This is like almost like a pre-internet era type behavior. This guy would be on their top 10 in 764, right? Of members.
Yeah.
That's how good this guy, like that's like the level he is. And this guy cold calls this fast food joint, pretends to be a police officer, says that one of the young people that works there, a blonde girl.
Pretty young girl, yeah.
Yeah, he's just guessing that one works there. He has no idea. He guesses all this. He happens to be right. There is a young blonde girl working there. Stole a purse from somebody.
That's right.
And they have to detain her there while he makes his way there because she can't leave. She can't escape the scene of the crime. And from there, the amount of things this guy over the phone entirely, he's in a different state. He's not even there at all. He's not like across the street or anything. He's not like monitoring their camera. He's not getting off. He's getting off on what he's saying. And he convinces them to do horrible things to this girl and to each other technically, but also to this girl. Basically convinces them to do all these crimes. And the saddest thing about this is that there's based on a true story where the true story is actually worse. They made her do worser things than they did in the movie. And the film director who made the movie famously to me, said that we had to tone it down because if we actually put exactly what happened in real life, people would find it unbelievable. That's how crazy that story is.
That is 764 before 764.
Right, that's what that
exactly
is. That's what it reminds me of. The way it's brought up, the way he gets off on it, the bad guy in the movie, he gets off on it because you see his scenes too. He looks like he's jerking it off on this. He's having so much fun with it. He just can't, he's excited, I feel like that's what these guys are feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Compliance, definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm. It's from 2012, I want to say. I don't remember. Yeah.
And a true story, based on a true story.
Yeah.
People are, as I'm telling you, I have zero hope in humanity anymore after this.
It's crazy.
So yeah, death penalty to any of these fuckers. Now, as of May 2025, so just last month, the FBI has revealed staggering numbers in their fight against 764. There are over 250 active investigations across the U.S. right now, with every single one of the Bureau's 55 field offices currently handling at least one 764-related case.
So every field office has like a member or something in their area. Is that what that means? At least one member.
Something that in their area and they're within their jurisdiction. What that jurisdiction looks like, I don't know, but something that they would oversee.
That's crazy.
Every single one of them. Now, the network has now been officially classified a domestic terrorism threat, reflecting the severity of its crimes. In a joint statement, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel pledged to dismantle what they describe as, quote, one of the most heinous online child exploitation operations in history. And their success would mark a crucial victory in protecting our nation's youth. No, not our nation's, our world's youth. Because this doesn't just happen in the United States.
Seems to be based here, though.
So it started
by what
here.
you're saying. Yeah.
So, and we're going to...
They're like an X-rated weather underground.
Weather underground? Oh, what was that?
The political group against our government in the 70s, 60s, and 70s.
Is that what it was, 60s, 70s?
They didn't harm people, but they blew up empty buildings and tried to take down... Yeah, they were like terrorism, domestic terrorism. But like, again, they didn't kill people. They were much more altruistic. But again, X-rated version.
Altruism is not even in these people's vocabulary.
No, yeah, not even a little. They wouldn't be called nihilists or anything.
Yeah, probably not.
The weather underground, I mean. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. These people, yes. No, I meant the weather underground. Sorry.
Well, I mean, so believe it or not, the 764 network was founded by a 15-year-old from Stephenville, Texas, named Bradley Cadenhead. Now, listeners, go to the show notes. There's photos there that I could find of these fuckers. Bradley Cadenhead included, the one who created 764. Now, Bradley was, truthfully, he was an adorable little kid who came from a close-knit family, a family known in their small town for never missing a Sunday church service. Isn't that always how it is? Like, the most fucked up people come from...
Well, if you ask me my personal thoughts about organized religion, how it stifles creativity out of youth, then you're talking to the wrong person here.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think that is a great way. So, that's me.
But so that's what the family was known. Never miss a Sunday, great family. But at age 10, the Cadenhead family, when Bradley was 10, the Cadenhead family began to fall apart. After Bradley's parents split up, his mother left and spiraled into heavy drinking and just this kind of chaotic lifestyle. And at school, Bradley was being bullied constantly. He became severely isolated, and he started suffering breakdowns. He began obsessively looking at images and videos of gore. He made threats against his school, talked about guns and making bombs, and teachers, they didn't want him in their classroom. They were legitimately afraid of this kid. So by the age of 15, Bradley dropped out of high school and withdrew completely into online life. Now, from his darkened, cramped, fart-smelled bedroom, lit only by the glow of a computer screen, Bradley harnessed the power of Discord, a popular gaming and chat platform.
I use it.
Right. Yeah, everyone does, right? I mean, and that's where he carefully cultivated this domineering, sadistic predator persona, which in turn attracted both victims and like-minded individuals from around the world. Cadenhead named his group of sadists 764 after the first 3 digits of his Stephenville, Texas zip code. That's where the name comes from.
Oh, so I was going to ask you at some point if you didn't tell me, so I'm glad you told me now.
Yeah, it's just the Stephenville, Texas zip code, you know? Now, suddenly, this once isolated, bullied nobody became a notorious predator of the social media age. He posted tons of images of child pornography and gore on his Discord, hiding behind lazy moderators and the platform's practice of relying largely on other users to report abuse that occurs in private chat rooms, known as servers on Discord.
Right.
Cadenhead claims he had little interest in child pornography, but he liked to use it to recruit predators to his group and to control and intimidate people. Now, under the alias Felix, Cadenhead pressured young victims to send him sexual images of themselves, and then he would blackmail them by saying he would send those images to the victim's family and friends unless they performed self-harm or degrading sexual acts on camera. And remember, these are kids he's doing this to. He would then boast of his extortions on Discord, where he was praised as a god among his piece-of-shit cult of online followers. In one online exchange, Caden had pressured a 10-year-old girl to send nude pictures of herself. In another, he encouraged a user who had survived a suicide attempt to try again, saying, quote, "I could give you a guide on how to kill yourself 10 different ways that are very descriptive. Since you're so fucking stupid and can't kill yourself correctly, I want to watch somebody kill themselves in video chat," end quote. Just vile, demonic behavior perpetrated against the most innocent and weak and disturbed among us. In instances where Cadenhead was flagged and kicked off Discord, he would simply create a new Discord account and resume his perverse activities. And that's exactly what these people do. To evade moderation, 764 continually splinters and renames itself. Whenever a Discord account is banned, members, like Cadenhead, immediately reappear under new aliases. An investigation by Wired Magazine found thousands of 764-related chat groups are still active right now. Discord reports that in 2023, it blocked over 130 764-related servers and 34,000 accounts. But new ones just spring up constantly.
All you need is a different email, if that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A million-headed snake. How do you stop it? You cut one head off, 10 more pop up.
And that's just one person that can do that, not multiple people. Or not accounting for multiple people.
It's a literal fucking virus. You just can't stop it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cadenhead was very active on Discord. And he was also very active on the app Telegram, which is another fucking cesspool. Incredibly popular with pedophiles and peddlers of child sexual abuse material.
Also, it's super famous for people wanting to have affairs.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's why I have it.
Oh, there you go.
Not for affairs. I mean, not for that. I'm saying. Yeah, but for hookup. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
An adult. You're looking for adults. That's perfectly fine.
Basically, if you know someone that has a Telegram account, they're either a little seedy or they're out trying to have fun.
You want to laugh. So, a friend of mine turned me on to Telegram a couple years ago.
It's a red flag for some girls if you have Telegram.
Yeah, so he was military. He was ex-military, and he's like, "Yeah, this is how me and my buddies we communicate."
Oh yeah, yes.
Right. So he's like, "Oh, you should join. Find me."
Yeah.
So I did, and I think I haven't had it in a few years. I think I only had it for a month, and I just never used it. But I did find, I think there was like a suggestion or people you may know sort of feature on there.
Yeah.
The lady down the street, this dude's wife that we used to hang out with, she was on there.
Really?
And I'm like, bitch, what are you up to? Because I was good friends with her husband.
Yeah.
And her husband wasn't on there.
Right.
She was.
Right.
That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that's that. I mean, the most harmless reason it exists is like WhatsApp. It's so you can talk to people across the countries.
Yeah.
So that's the most wholesome way you can use Telegram. I don't use it for that, but and most people that I know don't either.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of pigeonholed to that, but I'm sure it was created with that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't created to be a cesspool of child porn.
It's like OnlyFans wasn't created for porn, but it's mainly not even close. They tried to ban it, and then they realized the ones going on our platform. So they like, okay, we'll let the pornographers do whatever they want. Well, yeah. So OnlyFans is famous because no way well, I know. I remember reading the story. Doesn't matter. We're off topic. But OnlyFans was created for a different reason. Continue.
Got it. Yeah. So he was also Discord and Telegram.
Yeah.
Right. Which for CP.
Now, if you say Kick, that'll be a different story.
It's a cesspool for that shit. But parents, you got to monitor your kids' online activities. Ask questions. Look through their phones, their tablets, their laptops. Listen to conversations they have online while they're gaming, because 764 also uses Minecraft as their hunting grounds, and Roblox, like I mentioned, where they find young victims and coerce them into escalating sexual and violent behavior, pushing these kids to create graphic pornography, harm family pets, cut themselves with sharp objects, or even die by suicide. For example, a Connecticut case, police found that a 17-year-old was lured into 764 by an overseas member she met on Roblox. The predator later communicated with her on Discord and convinced her to shoot bomb threat videos for the group. And again, these assholes have watch parties where members of the 764 network will watch as a group children debase, humiliate, and violate themselves in the most vile ways in real time. I hope every one of these fucking animals dies a horrific death. And, my son, Roblox, my son constantly Minecraft, loves Minecraft. He's on these platforms. So I've talked to him about all this as soon as I learned about it. I made him aware. My daughter, too, even though she's older, made her aware. You got to talk to your kids about this stuff. No matter how uncomfortable these topics are, they need to know. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't hide them from it. Now, Bradley Cadenhead was ultimately exposed and taken into custody following a convergence of social media platform moderation reports, law enforcement alerts, and a detailed forensic investigation. According to investigators, Cadenhead was first identified through moderation reports from platforms like Discord and Telegram that detected and removed his accounts for sharing sexually explicit and harmful content. Discord escalated the matter by reporting the activity to law enforcement and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. As a result, the Stephenville, Texas Police Department and the FBI combined efforts. The Stevensville PD obtained a search warrant for Cadenhead's home. They seized his computer and sent it to a state crime lab. The lab uncovered extensive evidence, thousands of images and videos depicting child sexual abuse and self-harm, orchestrated by Cadenhead and his followers. Through their joint investigation and a forensic review of his devices, authorities were able to piece together the full scope of Cadenhead's online activity, and it brought him into custody. Now, in August 2021, Cadenhead was formally arrested at age 16. He wasn't even 16 years old when he was doing this shit.
So he was on it for a little over a year, and that's it?
That's it. It's about that. He was charged with multiple counts of child pornography possession and distribution, and despite being a juvenile, the severity and organized nature of his crimes led prosecutors to try him as an adult. Court documents from March 2023 show Cadenhead eventually pled guilty to 9 counts of possessing child porn, stemming from his role in founding and running the 764 sextortion network. He received an 80-year prison sentence, essentially life. And good, fuck this monster. Prosecutors justified the hefty penalty by emphasizing Bradley's role as a self-styled cult leader, his pattern of sextortion, and his leadership over the disturbing content shared in the 764 network. The prosecutor, Jet Smith, it's a great name, Jet Smith told the judge during sentencing, quote, "Very rarely do we get a chance to look evil in the face. This may be one of those times." Talking about Cadenhead, end quote. Now, Cadenhead's current attorney, Chris Perry, said he is considering an appeal based on potential mental health concerns, but he declined to comment any further, so we'll see what happens with that. But I hope he dies in prison, Dahmer style. Now, what we're about to share next, well, it's shocking. I'm not trying to be sensational or sensationalize this stuff, but it's shocking because this is actually happening right now in the digital spaces where our kids spend time, a lot of their time. The 764 network's crimes aren't abstract threats or dark web rumors. They're documented cases with real victims across multiple states and countries. So I want to talk about some of the more infamous cases that have come out since 764 was exposed. Just to give you a level of the depravity and how serious this is and how urgent it is. In Arizona, a DOJ complaint details how Baron Martin, 20, of Tucson, Arizona, talked about him a little bit earlier, under the alias Convict, you fucking pussy. These kids piss me off so much. They just piss me off so much.
I think every kid pisses you off.
Convict. Fuck you. Proclaimed himself the king of extortion within the 764 network, boasting of instigating thousands of extortions. In one horrific case, Martin coerced a 13-year-old girl into carving his name and Nazi symbols into her body, then solicited others to harass her, and even offered $3,000 to have her kidnapped or killed in real life. The complaint alleges that in September 2022, Martin produced child sex abuse material on Discord by manipulating 2 minors into self-harm. He forced a 13-year-old to mutilate herself with threats of leaking her photos, and later demanded she carve his moniker, Convict, some swastikas and a satanic symbol into her chest, stomach, and thighs. Separately, Martin directed a 16-year-old to scratch herself with her nails, ordering her to draw blood, saying, "I want it dripping." She was then instructed to pour rubbing alcohol on the wounds. Martin filmed her agony, then shared it with others in the 764 network. Martin also cyberstalked a different 13-year-old, threatening her grandmother's life by allegedly placing a $3,000 hit on her. He doxed their contact information and incited other forms of harassment. And of course, DOJ officials condemned Martin's case as horrific, underscoring 764's brutality. In Vernon, Connecticut, a teenage girl entrapped by 764 was caught issuing bomb threats at her school and posting images of her own self-harm. Police found photos of her with cuts on her body and playing with 764 symbolism. FBI counterterrorism chief David Scott said this case illuminated 764's aim to sow chaos. A 14-year-old girl in Oklahoma was persuaded to send Felix, or Bradley Cadenhead, a nude photo, and then was blackmailed into cutting herself and mutilating her pet hamster on camera. 14 years old. Kyle Spites, a notorious figure in the network, known online as Criminal, was arrested in 2024 for producing self-harm videos involving minors and distributing child sexual abuse material, including explicit material of a 12-year-old. A member of 764 offshoot, an organization called Harm Nation, Spites gained infamy in 2023 after sharing a disturbing video on Discord showing his mother's boyfriend shooting him with a gun, followed by footage of his mother's corpse after she died of a drug overdose. Just a jagoff. Just a jagoff. Good old Cameron Finnegan, 2024. We talked about him briefly. Sussex, UK. He was arrested, and his case drew attention all over Europe when officers found an 11-page document giving detailed instructions on how to carry out a mass casualty terrorist attack using firearms, knives, and what's called a lorry, or that's the British term for a large truck. Okay. Finnegan, known within 764 as Acid, was found to have an altar of satanic imagery and indecent images of children in his bedroom. Prosecutors noted he encouraged a vulnerable girl to kill herself live on camera in the name of 764. She was apparently from Italy, and no one knows what ultimately happened to her, if she actually died or not. Cameron Finnegan pled guilty to encouraging suicide, possessing a terrorism manual, and possessing indecent images of a child. He was sentenced to 6 years and 3 years probation. I mentioned that earlier. The 6 years, anyway. He also got 3 years probation. Now, these are just a few notable examples since this thing broke of how depraved these animals are. I could have talked about many, many more cases, unfortunately, both domestically and internationally. And I'm really terrified that as time goes on, more and more of these cases of extreme abuse against children and teens will be clawed from the darkness and brought kicking and screaming into the light, meaning, can you really put a stop to this? Parents, guardians, friends, educators, I urge you to watch for warning signs. Counterterrorism police advise noting and reporting any child or teen's sudden secrecy, unexplained injuries like cuts and burns, or obsessive interest in extreme content. The FBI stresses that suicidal ideation should trigger concern, as many 764 victims are manipulated during mental health crisis. Watch for sudden changes in appearance, especially neglect of appearance, changes in eating or sleeping habits, dropping out of activities and becoming more isolated and withdrawn. Watch for any new online friends, quote-unquote friends, your kids seem to be infatuated with or scared of. If your kid receives anonymous gifts, like stuff delivered to your home, money, gaming currency, like Roblox bucks, right? Or other virtual items, big red flag. Look for scars on the body, often in patterns, or carvings, such as words or symbols on their skin. Wearing long sleeves or pants in hot weather could be another red flag. Family pets or other animals being harmed or dying under suspicious circumstances. Huge red flag. As is family pets uncharacteristically avoiding your child. These are all signs that your child or teen might be under the influence of online predators, like the monsters in 764. So how can you make sure your child isn't a victim? Try to be as observant as you can about what your kids are doing online, who they're talking to, sites they visit. Watch for the warning signs and ask tough questions. Make them aware of what's happening. You can't sugarcoat. They need to know that there are those out there that want to literally destroy them and that the internet isn't a safe place. They have to understand the dangers of posting personal information online, photos of themselves, their phone number, home address, last name, even the school they attend. Don't post that shit. People could follow breadcrumbs. Let them know you love them. No matter what, you love them and you got their back. I think being open and honest, no matter how uncomfortable it is to talk to kids about this kind of nasty shit, it's really the only way to combat it, I think. Make sure they're fully aware of just how fucked up people are. Now for the most important part. If you or someone you know has been targeted by the 764 network or any form of online bullying, harassment, or exploitation, first, it's important to remember you're not alone. Help is available. I want to share critical resources to support victims, from reporting cybercrimes to accessing mental health care and legal assistance. Whether you need to document a crime, seek crisis counseling, or remove exploitative content from the web, these organizations are here to help. No one should have to navigate this alone. So let's break down where to turn, how to take action, and how to protect yourself or others. And again, please check the show notes because all of the following information I'm about to give will be there as well. Okay, clickable. All right, here's what you need to know. IC3.gov. IC3.gov. That's your direct line to the FBI for cybercrime. If you've been targeted by online predators, scammers, or cyber criminals, IC3.gov is where you fight back. It's run by the FBI. Their Internet Crime Complaint Center, that's IC3, Internet Crime Complaint Center, that is the nation's central hub for reporting cybercrime, from hacking and fraud to harassment and exploitation. Every report counts. When you submit information, the FBI analyzes it, tracks criminal activity, and works with law enforcement to take action. Whether you're a victim or a witness, your voice can help shut down predators and protect others. IC3.gov isn't just a reporting tool, it's a weapon against cybercrime. File a complaint, expose criminal networks, and make the internet safer. You can call or text 988 or go to 988lifeline.org for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Help's available 24/7, 365, whether you're facing mental health struggles, emotional distress, alcohol or drug use concerns, suicidal thoughts, or just need someone to talk to. Remember, you are valuable, you are loved, you have a lot to offer, you matter. You deserve to feel heard and cared about anytime, anywhere. So call or text 988 or go to 988lifeline.org. Report.cybertip.org. Report.cybertip.org. This is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's cyber tip line. This is the place you need to go to report child sexual exploitation. Or if you prefer to talk to someone, you call 1-800-THE-LOST or 1-800-843-5678, 1-800-THE-LOST. And again, that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. If someone is threatening to share or has already shared intimate photos or videos of you from when you were under the age of 18, you have the right to fight back. takeitdown.ncmec.org. Takeitdown.ncmec.org is your free, confidential resource to remove these images from the internet and stop their spread. No shame, no blame, just action. This isn't just about deleting photos. It's about taking back control of your life, your privacy, and your future. It's a good one, especially considering what we're talking about today. If you're a survivor of exploitation, excuse me, if you're a survivor of childhood sexual exploitation and your images are being shared online, you have the power, you have rights, you have power and rights. The law's on your side. You have the right to pursue restitution, and I'm really fucking this one up, aren't I? From every single person who created, shared, or possessed your images. You have the right to restitution from every single person who created, shared, or possessed your images. Which I didn't know. I think that's fantastic. This isn't just about justice. It's about holding these people accountable for the harm they've caused. This process could feel overwhelming. That's why the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children provides free, confidential attorney referrals to help you navigate the legal system with support and dignity. So for those lawyers, you call 877-446-2632, extension 6117, 877-446-2632, extension 6117, or you could email gethelp@ncmec.org, gethelp@ncmec.org. And again, all this information is available in the show notes.
All right.
764.
Can I, on this topic, can I go back a little bit on something?
Yeah.
And talk about something I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, yes. So hugely, I have a problem with everything you're talking about, obviously. What is the main culprit in this story to you? And maybe I shouldn't make it so personal, but I'm asking you.
What turns a person into a Bradley Cadenhead? I mean,
well, I wouldn't even say he's a person at the time he's doing this.
Right, yeah.
What age is he?
But
he is Columbine age material.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
He's school shooter age.
My parents were divorced.
Yeah.
You know,
well, first of all, everyone reacts differently to tragedies. Everyone's a different person.
It's not even, his family was fucked.
So it's not just about that. It's not about like you were able to make it out and others don't. Others are built differently, Jay.
Dude, it's like the devil, dude.
No, I don't think it's a devil at all. I think
it's just pure evil in our world that some people are susceptible to.
See, that's what I have a problem with. I really can't follow you on some of these emotions, Jay. I find it very difficult to do it. So I feel more pity and sad than I feel anger at all about this.
Well, you're also not a parent, for one.
I don't have to be a parent.
I to a degree, I think, to kind of get the visceral reaction I had.
Well, I do think it's a little reductive because I do think that everything you were talking about with the signs that parents should look out for in your, not monologue, but in your story, you were talking about signs you should look out for in case your kid's being exploited in some way, are all the same exact signs you should look for in a kid that would potentially do this to another kid someday. And I find that sad. And I find that to be just as applicable to the person, barely a person, a kid that could see himself or herself, mainly himself, to exploit other children online like this. I feel like if people looked out for all these signs to Bradley, he wouldn't have done this. And once 764, that it wouldn't exist.
If someone caught these signs?
The same signs that you were asking parents to look out for in their children if they are victimized, are the same signs I would see in a kid that would grow even a little older to find victims.
I don't know if I follow.
I think it's 100%. I think a person that like him was ignored and traumatized in school, bullied, and all this. All those are the same exact signs you would see in a kid that your kid could go through if someone was picking on him, online or in physical, like both ways. They both share very similar feelings. A bullied kid online feels very similar, if not the same, as a bullied kid when you and I grew up. You know, like I felt that for sure. Like I can relate. I don't know the internet world like this, but I can relate to those feelings.
But you didn't turn out like these.
I'm a different person, Jay. Everyone's a different person. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is different. Like people can come back from war and be perfectly capable non-PTSD people, and some people come back PTSD. Everyone understands that, right? So yeah, everyone's different. I'm saying is that it's a systemic issue is what I'm trying to get at. I feel mad for the systemic problems that led people like him, kids like him, and that end the victims that people don't pay attention to either. You know, kids with their phones at too young of age and all those problems, right? fall through the cracks. And I think it's a systemic issue we're talking about.
Absolutely, you feel
the systems failed them, not just the parents.
You feel bad for people who fall through the cracks.
Right, not just the parents, of course, but the parents too. Not just the family and the town they live in and the neighborhood they live in. They all failed them too. Yeah. I'm saying the systemic issues in place that are supposed to protect these people are not at all completely looking at them at all. Not even as an issue, only when it's too late, only when we have to arrest them.
I think that's where my sympathy stops, is this kid, he look at his picture. Break your heart. What he was, what he turned into.
That's what I'm saying. It breaks your heart. It's sad. It's not.
But that's where my sympathy ends, because a lot of people fall through the cracks.
I'm not saying, Jay, to let him go.
A million times worse upbringing and don't do anything.
No, I'm not even remotely saying we shouldn't let him go or should definitely keep him away, obviously. I'm not even saying he's too far gone either. I'm not saying that either, by the way. I'm not saying that. He's way too young. He can totally get rehabilitation, no problem.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying, is that you immediately demonize the other side as if there are sides. He comes from a similar background of a victim and an abuser. He could have gone either way, and that's what makes me sad about it.
I just don't see it.
I'm saying I do, and I feel like we should bring it up on that. No, I'm saying I'm bringing it up as a side.
Go completely opposite direction.
My favorite part about this is that whenever I talk about this, and I try to talk about it in terms of not with children, because I have to preemptively defend myself because I don't have children. I don't have to have children to understand that hurting a child is wrong, right? Now, it goes beyond that. I know it goes beyond that. There's a genetic, emotional component that I don't have, nor do I want to have, honestly. That's why I always try to steer this into problems systematically that we can relate to. That has nothing to do with children, but also affect them at the same time. I think the issues are bigger, and I don't think it's the individuals that we're blaming that are only at fault. That's what I'm saying. This kid does not exist in a vacuum, Jay. He exists in our world.
No, he doesn't.
And our world created this kid as well. He's a kid, Jay. He doesn't know anything.
I fail to see
the frontal lobe of a child like matures at 22 or 20. Like, it's insane. Like, he's not an adult.
I guess I failed to see the systemic issues that would create a beast.
I couldn't say. I'm not an expert.
The only thing I might be able to blame is unfettered internet access. But there too, I looked at what was it? Gore.com. What was the big one in the 90s, man? Like,
oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Gore.com or something.
I don't remember. Might be right. I remember.
It was really popular.
I remember something in the
late
90s,
early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were shocking.
It'd take 5 years to upload a picture.
Yeah. It might have been Gore.com. I did that. We used to watch that and try to freak each other out and gross each other out.
Yeah, I do remember something.
And we're perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
different times, different things.
That's
also, we are fine. Other people were not, Jay. Other people grew up to shoot something.
Yeah.
Or go to war to take their anger out in some victim we will never know about. I mean, that happened to people in the 90s. We just weren't them.
Yeah.
100%. It's not like not a matter of whether or not you believe me on that. I think that's very much a truism. We're a big population. It's a world. It's billions of people. Yeah. It's too much to comprehend. You can't say no for sure.
Yeah, it's just like they're aberrations. It's how do you
and I can't tell you specifically what systems in place in Texas, in the U.S., in the world that I could specifically target. Right. But there are. There are supposed to be organizations and rules and laws and systems in place to help adults, children, victims, everything.
Yes.
Supposed to be that.
Yes.
They all failed them. They're supposed to get to him before he gets to that point. They all failed them to recognize it and stop it before it got to this point.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what those are. I don't know the names.
That's fucked up. That is.
And I'm saying it's sad. I pity this kid. Negatively, of course. Not positively. I pity the kid. But he's an overreactionary little fucking adrenaline junkie kid. I hate him for what he did, obviously. Yes. And all these other people. I hate him. Don't want to meet him on the street, that kind of thing, right? But I don't exactly 100% entirely blame him. And I pity him. I don't have anger for him.
I can, because of the age, I can see your point. Yes.
Well, how do you think everyone that becomes an adult starts off?
How about this kid that they arrested, the U.S. citizen living in Greece, that Verigianis fucking ass?
The 21-year-old.
He was 21.
Yeah, I know.
That's an adult.
That's an adult, yeah. That's an adult for us.
That's a few years adult by that time, you know?
Yeah.
How do you explain that one?
No, I don't. I'm just saying that that's the guy who got away with it faster than Bradley, and
aberration.
You start picking and choosing what we demonize and what we don't. Either we fix the issue as an overall, or we just kill everyone. You can understand how it becomes nihilistic. Like, we can't just blame individuals when so many keep happening, and it will never stop, Jay. So, like, we either grow as a society in some fashion, change things up, or we're going to keep expecting this and we keep thinking we're protecting ourselves and that we're okay and everyone else isn't. That's not a great way to live at all. I'm just saying it's a two-sided thing. It's a double-edged sword. It's a fucked up world. I get it. I'm just trying to bring up that it's more than what we're just saying, or that what you were saying. And I believe it's more. And I feel like I just want to bring it out in case people are feeling similarly and maybe are having hard ways to bring it up and put it into words. I'm having a hard time to put them into words right now, but that's essentially what I wanted to bring up.
You want an explanation for something so out there.
Well, there are definitely
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's something out there. There's something to explain this. I'm nowhere near a professional. I'm not smart enough to know what that is. I don't claim to be experts better than me. Well, hopefully we'll figure this out. I'm sure there are great sources out there for you all to read and listen to that I can't tell you that exist, and I'm hoping to do a better job. But like my point is that I just want to bring it up because it was bothering me. I just don't want to say like fuck this kid forever. I don't want to say I hope he dies under the prison. Like, yeah, it's so easy to say that and move on. I don't want to move on. You know. And
I feel the opposite. I say
no. I know. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to bring it up for our audience. Yeah. This is just for the audience.
Yep.
I know better than to try to convince you anyway.
That's not true. I listen.
No, I'm kidding. That was flipping. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant as a joke. I was just saying, like, I didn't expect to try to convince you to change your mind.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you my side.
Yeah, absolutely. And there probably are people out there listening that feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, this kid deserves another chance, that sort of thing. He was underage.
I wasn't even saying that, but
brain isn't fully formed. You know, of course.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that either. I'm just saying that there's a lot of more to it.
Yeah, I think when you cross a certain line, there's no coming back. There's just no.
Well, I also have a huge, humongous problem with our prison system. A humongous problem with it. Oh
yeah, no, but he's not going to go to prison and get reformed.
But that's
he's not going to be reformed.
Well,
he'll probably wind up getting killed.
Yeah, probably.
What's going to happen?
Probably, yeah.
And
that's not good. That's almost like street justice. Almost like saying let the street take care of it.
That's why I said I hope he winds up like Dahmer, right?
Is that what happened?
That's what I said. I hope he winds up like Dahmer.
Is that what happened? He got shanked or something?
Yeah, he got beat to death.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sure you told me, but I don't remember.
But again, I have this visceral reaction to this because I see my kids in every one of these videos. Yeah. You know?
I understand, Jay. So, I don't want to... I'm trying to... I will never try to trivialize your feelings on this.
Absolutely.
It does seem like a lack of impulse control. I feel like that's just an impulse you're feeling. I think there's more to it than impulse. Yeah. I feel like we should never react on an impulse on anything in our lives, much less a heavy subject matter like this. And having an impulse effect, a reactionary, knee-jerk reaction to kill this fucking kid, it's not good. To live on that.
I respect that.
I respect that. But that's it, right? That's all you got?
That's all I got. I mean, you know, obviously I'm keeping my finger on the pulse on this one to see. Mm-hmm. It's been pretty quiet as of late last month or mid last month. But we'll see if Cadenhead gets an appeal. What happens there?
Right. This is an ongoing kind of a news story, right?
Yeah.
People are arrested as soon as last year, right? So
correct. Yeah. So we'll, if there's any major developments, we'll let people know. But again, just I don't know. The only message I could is just talk to your kids. Kids are so afraid. Like my kids are so afraid to like tell me certain things because they think I'm just gonna fly off the fucking handle, and I never would. But kids, they create these monsters in their head, and I would say any normal parent out there, if their kid got into a situation like this and they wound up snapping a picture of a nude picture of themselves and one of these assholes really did leak it, a normal parent isn't going to fucking beat the fuck out of their kids and kill them and all these things like kids think they're going to do.
Some would, though.
I think it's a very small percentage that would happen.
I know, but
they'll get mad.
But those that some would...
There'll be repercussions.
Those that some would could also potentially create a person that goes out and victimizes somebody else because they did that, right? There'll be repercussions. Yeah. You might be grounded or something like that. But my point is the kids create these monsters of their parents in their head. They cannot find out. I will do anything so they don't find out. I would say in 90% of the cases, if they did find out, they're going to shield, protect, help their kids instead of what the kid thinks they're going to do, That's what I'm saying. Be open and honest with your kids. Be there. Have their back no matter what the fuck it is. Yeah.
Have their back. Make sure they know you have their
Yeah.
back. Because then,
Right.
blackmail don't fucking matter. Okay, my kid took a picture of his dick. Stupid thing. Let's correct it and let's move on and grow from this. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill him.
Right.
I would never do it. I would always have his back. You know?
Right. And and the only thing I would add to that is just that also that kind of behavior I definitely support what you're saying about parents do this for your kids. Stop them also from being kidnappers themselves. Like that's also what I want. Like that doing that also helps them from doing crimes.
And that goes back to being there for your kids.
Exactly. Doing that does both things. Saves both the victim and the victimizer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Try to create good little
saves them from being predators and prey at the same time. It's a universal thing.
Parenting is a job.
Yeah, it is
a job.
I wish more people saw it positively, like the way you're talking right now. Obviously, it's not true, but I wish it was universal. And it is overall universal, understood. But not really. Not everybody. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody grew up the way we did. Not everybody knows the way you do.
It's a very small percentage that are the opposite.
Well, that's the thing. That's the trick, is to make it a smaller every year, smaller percentage as we go along as possible.
That's right. So, I don't know. I guess that's the only parting words I could say.
No, it's good.
Let them know you love them. Be there. Protect them. Have their back. Help them work through problems. Don't run them down. Don't make them scared. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. No, we get it.
That's the way I parent anyway.
All right.
And my wife.
Right. Right.
Could we please go home, Oscar? I'm done with this one.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I want to come over on the 4th. I'll bring all my kids. I'm like, nope, not happening. Too much going on.
Doesn't it need like what are the different stages of a driver's license? There's a basic one. What's the one on top of that? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Commercial license? Is that what's called commercial license?
Oh, like commercial or CDL or something.
Right. So doesn't he need that to transport them any children?
Yeah. No shit. It's a lot of kids, man. It's a lot of kids.
I will say, though, despite everything, I do think it's kind of cool to have big families. I don't know one ever does that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, if you could afford it.
If you could pull it off somehow. You don't see them anymore. In the old days, you hear all these stories about 8, 10 family children, like deep. Pretty common. That's common.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I want to kill somebody at 2 kids. I can't imagine 6.
Well, all the work you constantly need for everything, to keep a house or farmland in that case, makes sense.
Yeah.
You would need that many children.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? What the fuck is that? Fava beans?
It's drinking a little hot to me for some reason.
You know, whiskey keeps you warm, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, but it's only like 100 proof. But it drinks like it's maybe higher than 100 proof. That's all.
Maybe there's a smudge and it's 1,000 proof.
All right, should we do this?
Yes.
I'm really gonna try to be one take, Jay. Okay.
You know, I wasn't even thinking about it, but now that you say it,
There's nothing really super crazy with words in this one.
We'll see about that, buddy, pal, bucko.